Wednesday, my dude.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Punch Up Pod with Lila and Pat. It's Wednesday, my dudes. How are you?
It is, in fact, Wednesday. I'm good. How are you doing?
I am good, except that I sort of forgot it was Wednesday this morning when I was like going through prep for the show and dumped the folder thinking it was from Sunday, and my brain was out of order. But I'm back on track. I'm back.
So we have no graphics or videos tonight. We're just gonna spitball it. We'll do it live.
Fuck it. We're gonna do it. You're doing it live. We're just gonna talk about our feelings.
We're just gonna wing it. We actually have graphics in a full spread because Lila is so diligent.
Way more graphics than we will use, but yeah, I am happy to be here. There's, as always, plenty to talk about. Please do make sure to like and subscribe and smash that notification bell. Hello, Myra and Zainab. We get to say hi to everybody. Truth, hello, and Saul. Let's do it, man. Aim high. We're gonna go to the moon.
You know, if we actually do forget our graphics one day or whatever, something happens, we'll just do Lego night.
Yeah.
We literally, there's like 20 Lego videos a day getting pumped out in the world.
There's a lot. There are a lot. There are a lot. Justin, hello. I'm sorry that you are still at work. That stinks. Hello, Jay. Yes, we have a few of those videos. Also, we are excited to show. Zizu, hello. Hello, Lee. How is everybody doing? Josie, hello. Zainab, did we already say hello? Yes, please like and subscribe. Jen Perlman, please don't be mad. We have an announcement to make, and I know it's a bummer, and you all are so great and supportive of our show, but we are going to start doing our show on Thursdays at 6 because it was just getting too late. So I know that stinks. It means that we will have more of an overlap, but we kind of just had to do it for a few different reasons. But everybody, if you don't already, definitely go check out Revolutionary Change Pod with Jen Perlman and Peter, and now my brain just totally left me. I can't think of his last name. That's my brain. Too much going on. Sorry. I saw Myra's you look beautiful. Thank you. Just had to that was my focus. Peter. Oh my God. Help me out, somebody. My brain. Help me. Hi, Run.
Oh geez.
Daniel.
Hager, Kimiko. She got it.
Oh my God. Brain, that's terrible. Wally, hello. H2, good to see everybody. Kimiko. All right, I think we're gonna move on. I just wanted to make sure we got a mostly hello to everybody. Okay, so let's just start with our cheers. It feels like even our cheers are gonna make me sad, but let's do it. Let's start with our cheers. And oh, hi, Becca. Hello. In the midst of all of the cheating and corruption of FIFA and the World Cup, we have the Egyptian coach who focuses on what is truly important. So here we go.
Love him for this.
Yes.
احنا بنتكلم لما بتتعاملوا مع الحيوانات، لما الحيوان يتأذي، لو في فيديو جه مثلا حد أذى واحد حيوان في الشارع، كلنا هيخش لازم يتسجن لازم يتحاكم. طب اللي بيقتل الناس، طب الصاروخ اللي بينزل دون يقتل ناس بغض النظر عن الديانات، بغض النظر عن الديانات. انا مش بتكلم على اسلام ولا مسيحيه ولا يهود. ارجوكم كل الرياضيين وكل الاعلاميين بمختلف اديانتهم بمختلف دولهم، يمكن خلال كاس عالم نبعت رساله: نرجوكم خلي الشعب الفلسطيني يعيش. هم مش عايزين حاجه، يعيشوا بس.
I thought you were going to go right into that. So that is the Egyptian coach. And, you know, watching Palestinians in Gaza watch the Egyptian games where just the joy that spread on their face, seeing the Palestinian flag and the love for Palestinian people coming from that team and their fans was so beautiful. And so this is their paying homage to him and thanking him. So it's so beautiful. It's so meaningful to see their response to the coach and the team and solidarity. And one of the head Egyptian relief workers, Mohammed Al-Wahidi, who was setting up the screenings for Palestinians in Gaza to watch the Egyptian game, this previous one where they were robbed, an hour before the game started, Israel targeted him and killed him. So that is just one more disgusting war crime. Yeah. Israel assassinated Mohammed Al-Wahidi, the manager of the Egyptian Relief Committee in Gaza. The strike was carried out just 1 hour before Egypt's World Cup match began. The committee had been organizing public screenings of World Cup matches for displaced families across Gaza. The evil just never ends.
Have you seen the kid, the amputees playing soccer in Palestine? Like I've wanted to pull that clip to show it, but it's just it's not so joyous to see, but it's
when you see the number of amputees in Gaza, I just, of course it's intentional. Babies, you know, who are now having their limbs amputated with no painkiller, no anesthesia, not good medicine or antibiotics, right? All of that. But it's intentional. And we know that in the Great March of Return that was entirely peaceful, the IDF snipers competed against each other to see who could shoot off the most kneecaps, knowing that would cause amputations. So that is Israel and what our government supports. It's disgusting. It's truly disgusting. And, we showed last week that they killed Palestinian goalkeeper Salim Qadr al-Ashqar. They killed him. A targeted assassination when he was trying to get, I think, either food or water for his family. 3 years into a genocide. And, there are around the world, people are demanding that FIFA ban Israel from the games. And they don't. Instead, they contribute, what's his name? Infantino contributes millions of dollars to the Board of Peace, which is now erecting concentration camps.
So. Well, the most humane concentration camps ever built. Did you see that article?
Yeah. This one,
I guess.
This was in Haaretz. Israel wants to build the most moral concentration camp in the world. I don't think that a single U.S. outlet, I mean, obviously, Drop Site and, Electronic Intifada and Gray Zone, like they have talked about this, but not the New York Times.
Oh, mainstream media, of course not.
Washington Post, none of them. Yeah, none of them.
They're not ready.
So going back though to FIFA, because this is where we get our episode edition title. Trump stepped in and had FIFA overturn Balogun's suspension, so he was eligible to play in the U.S. game against Belgium on what day was that? Monday. On Monday. And
absolutely criminal.
Totally, yeah. Especially because
completely cooking it for the home team, the scumbag Israel USA.
So gross. The only thing I'm gonna say, and then before we go on, I realize we didn't do our wheel spin. Sorry, but there is something way more gratifying about Belgium beating US with our best player, right? Like,
yeah,
in the end, even though it's completely unfair, it's corrupt, it's gross, all of that, but like that's a bigger win.
And I was so conflicted before this move, but that made me really not really want to root with the US. I mean, I played soccer my whole life. I ref soccer. I really loved soccer, big part of my whole life.
I know
as a kid. But for the world, I didn't want the US to win it all. That would be just the most, not that they had a chance, but the sooner they leave, the better for the world, so that we can look like the embarrassing people we deserve to be.
I mean, truly, the joy that emanated from Belgian fans and the whole world was palpable. Like we have so many little clips of people just being thrilled about what happened. Should we buzz through that and then do the wheel, or should we do the wheel first?
Yeah, let's do it, because this is sort of joy.
It's sort of joy. Yeah. So, this, we don't normally share anything from the Midas Touch, but this just kind of put it all right in one place. The Trump effect: the U.S. just lost to Belgium in the World Cup round of 16 by a score of 4-1, right after Trump personally called FIFA to clear star striker Balogun to play. Sports fans are calling it the Trump curse. He attended the Super Bowl and predicted a Chiefs win, but the Eagles blew them out. He was there when the Commanders hosted the Lions and lost at home. He watched from a suite as Miami fell in the college football national championship. He sat in the owner's suite when the Knicks snapped their huge playoff streak in NBA Finals Game 3. After he attended the Ryder Cup, where Europe topped the U.S. He attended the Ryder Cup, where Europe topped the U.S. team. So, he's not known for being a good luck mascot on any level at all. This was one fan losing his shit.
Piece of shit. I blame you for this fucking loss. The whole fucking world hates us. You had to get involved in it. Everything you fucking touch goes to absolute fucking shit. And now we just got obliterated in front of the fucking whole world after you put your whole orange, fat ass right in the middle of this fucking World Cup. Like everything else you touch, it went to fucking shit. Your narcissistic ass couldn't just stay out of it. Keep politics out of sports, this motherfucker screamed for years, just to put his fat orange shit stain ass right in the middle of every fucking thing we do in this country. I'm so sick of your bitch ass. Gosh damn. I mean, we was obviously outclassed tonight as it was, but I don't think it helped giving Belgium more motivation by getting involved with your corrupt fucking ass. FIFA's corrupt, you're corrupt, this whole fucking thing is a...
Love it. I love it.
Totally right. And I that's where I kind of felt bad for the team in a way. It's like, they were playing with the burden of knowing, even if we win, this is bullshit. We know he doesn't deserve to be there.
Yeah. 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 And I know that that player went up to the Belgian coach after the game and apologized and said, like, at that point he had no choice. So, like, you know, he handled himself properly. And the whole thing feels, I mean, you know, Messi had some things reversed that shouldn't have been. I mean, the whole thing was clearly designed to give US and Argentina their best chances, right?
Right.
Really, it's just gross. But so then there was, you know, a lot of fun, you know, headlines like this from the Globe and Mail: America rigs the World Cup, then bows out as a laughingstock. There was their star player saying this was from their actual team account, the Belgian Red Devils overturn this. You know, memes of Belgium peeing in their reflecting pool, which is, you know, funny. And then there were all sorts of, you know, the celebration from the Belgian players was pretty funny. Yeah, doing the YMCA and then doing it in the locker room. And the African pallbearers, you know, like he's finally dead.
The meme, they're doing the meme.
Something from Avengers.
Enough! You are all of you beneath me. I am a god, you dull creature, and I will not be bullied by that. Puny god.
So, you know, people certainly had some fun, especially after the White House released this Lego clip. Maybe save your brag for after the game, after your win, if it happens.
Yeah, I love that this is their first use of retaliatory Legos, and it's like, clearly you're wrong immediately.
You know, it's like that. Who is the basketball player that's like, now there's a meme of him because it's like he takes a shot and turns around, it's just like, and then he doesn't see that it like.
Yeah, he was on the Warriors for a while. I forget
somebody name. I can't remember, but yeah. Anyway, the whole world hates us, deservedly so, because we destroy everything. And even a game that's supposed to bring all these different countries and cultures and foods and joy and team spirit together, the US like truly made ugly with our treatment of, you know, Egyptian fans. You see, they're the ones getting patted down, but not who'd they play? Argentina, right? But not the Argentinian fans. I mean, the way obviously
the world
they
was
treated Iran. Yeah.
Big time.
Yeah.
Although I grew up sort of an Argentina fan, so
yeah, well,
conflicted there too.
You can't be now. You can't be now. Yeah. Between Malay and all of the special treatment that Messi's gotten, I think
yeah, absolutely.
I think that ship has sailed. But anyway, so it was just sort of fun to see all the trolling of, you know, of our despicable country. And I mean, again, like small moments of joy, because in the midst of all that, you know, Trump, well, we'll get into it, but you know, we're already back. The MOU's over and we're just back to war. Fantastic. What does that mean, Bendejo? I'm not
Avatar, the banner? Is it the banner? We don't have a banner on our page or something?
I'm not sure what this means. Maybe
we'll have to look into it.
Yeah, I'll look into it because we can't tell when we're in studio. Sorry. Yeah, I like that. Everything Trump touches dies. Very true. Everyone hates the US. Season 250. But yes. And yeah.
Well, the soccer was unifying. The whole world was rooting against us.
Yeah.
That's what we're at now.
Yeah.
We made the world happy with that one.
Maybe Trump will say that's the strategy, kind of like when I used to make both, my boys were fighting and I'd punish them both hard enough that they would join together to hate me for, to be like, mom's the worst, But yeah. Anyway, we didn't deserve it. Glad that we had our best player on there though, and that he acted graciously and with class, but that we still lost, because otherwise there would have been a million excuses of why, that the only reason that Belgium won was because our best player was sad and he had the suspension. And so this way nobody can claim any of that. Against all odds, Belgium won. All right, I'm bringing the wheel up. Clearly, I'm a mess. Totally forgot. I did see that. That's why you can't.
What?
Yeah,
I didn't see that. That's crazy.
Yeah. Well,
you got some balls to do that in this climate.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of like some of the Iranian fans, like the royalists, who were out there, right? The way they were treating even the Iranian team,
their own team,
and Iranian fan. Yeah, I mean, it's all a mess. Okay, here we go. The wheel. That's what we need. Some good music.
All right, let's start with the guy who did our outro song last week, Urban Appellation.
Awesome.
Last week's song was what was it? I kidnapped Peter Thiel or something.
Yeah, with all the flock.
This one's
killing all the flock cameras.
Same concept, but here's the guy himself. Then that's about Elon Musk.
That is why the man said this revolution will be telepathic.
Pretty good. He definitely deserves it. Definitely deserves
absolutely
to be put out of all of our misery.
And I think since we made people wait and there's a cry for Legos, I think you guys deserve a Legos as well.
All right. Well, we'll keep it with our World Cup theme. Yes. Cheated and defeated.
Trump made the call. FIFA bent the rule. Still got sent home. Fool. Cheated and defeated. Bye, bye, bye. Trump called FIFA, still had to cry. Red Devils cooking USA fried. Cheated and defeated. Bye, bye, bye. Cheated and defeated. Bye, bye, bye. Big phone call, but the score don't lie. Jose home watching planes fly. Cheated and defeated. Bye, bye, bye. Belgium back after the fix got done. Trump on the phone like, this my son. FIFA said okay, gave you the green. Belgium still came through and wiped the scene. Talk that big noise, hosted the show. Got embarrassed fast. Belgium, but the team fell flat. Belgium laughed loud and stomped on that. You bent the rules, but couldn't bend the game. Belgium pressed high and exposed your name. America first, more like America third. Whole world saw the fix and still you got served. Phone call flop, big talk flop. Now you packing bags and the fans won't stop. Red Devils rising, USA sinking low. Cheated and defeated, everybody know. Bye, bye, bye. Hey. Cheated and defeated. Bye, bye. Sacred defense.
I love it. It's embarrassing. He should be embarrassed. He's cheated at everything he's done. And actually, he just keeps failing up and destroying everything behind him. Amazing. The other thing that's really funny is Balogun is exactly what Trump and J.D. Vance and Stephen Miller rail against, right? An anchor baby. I mean, not that he's American because he was born here. His parents are Nigerian, living in London. And she was so pregnant at the end of the visit that the airline would not let her board the plane. After, I remember, I think it was like at 7 months, they say you can't fly anymore. And so he has US citizenship, even though I think they returned to London like 2 months after his birth or something. But gets to play for the US team. Trump sticks his neck out for him. And think about how his whole administration treats people who are not born to parents from this country, who aren't white, who, all of that stuff. But man, if you can get something from them.
Well, and just think how many people are powerful people in his administration that are married to immigrants.
Yeah.
Right? It's just really gross that you would drop all your values and back this fucking racist KKK guy.
It is so crazy. I mean, his own wife's an immigrant, right? Which means his kid is, were his parents? Weren't Trump's parents immigrants? Elon Musk is an immigrant. Peter Thiel, like they're all immigrants. Just a sick group of people.
They're white immigrants is really what it comes down.
I mean, that's the thing. You got to be a white South African. You got to be a white Nazi. And then you're welcome. We welcome the tired and the poor. Tendeo, thank you. If Brett Kavanaugh didn't resign, why should Platner? Thank you for your super chat. We are definitely about to get into a conversation. Should we just start this one now? Because there's a lot to talk about. Thank you for your super chat. Do you want to start, Pat?
No, go ahead.
Okay. So I feel like you and I have been very clear about our feeling with Platner. At least I'll speak for myself. I love his message. Entirely back his message. I don't think he's a secret Nazi, even though I think that's a messed up tattoo. And he probably lied about when he realized it was a Nazi tattoo. Clearly has had a drinking problem, but most of his old Reddit social media posts, I think actually show that he's much more of a socialist, right? So obviously the establishment hates him. They have tried to smear him with anything that they can. The one thing they never bring up, which is the thing that I find the most disgusting, is that he signed up to go off with BlackRock 3 different times to be a mercenary, right? To kill Black and brown people for money. So to me, which is why, like, we've shown things of his, but we have not been super excited about him, the person, just
and his
message.
Yeah. I mean, we've had nuanced discussions about him anytime we bring him up.
Yeah.
Because
Blackwater.
Look, it is the BlackRock, and I never believed his story about the Nazi tattoo.
Yeah.
But I also don't think he's still a Nazi because he is a socialist. And
I don't even think he ever was a Nazi.
Right.
Like, I don't even think he was ever a Nazi. Like, I don't think that was right. It was a stupid, really dumb, drunk tattoo that he got. I think.
Right. I mean, you could debate whether he knew what it meant at the time. Maybe they
Right.
did know what it meant because they were just this tribe and it's sort of a groupthink thing. And they're, you know, for whatever reason. But he clearly knew before he covered it up. Like, oh, I got exposed and now I have to cover it up. I didn't know.
Yeah.
No, he knew.
Okay. So then, just as a reminder, there was last month, in the beginning of June, June 4th, a New York Times profile, women who dated Graham Platner recall unsettling behavior. A lot of things where he was either dismissive of women, disrespectful, a little bit like what they're trying to do now with Abdul El Sayed. We showed last week that there was this expose and semaphore where some women thought that he was disrespectful, that he had said the thing about Haley Stevens being an empty suit, and AIPAC should help her learn how to string 2 sentences together for all the money that they've given to her campaign or to her, you know, over the years. And so then that became like, we're going to tar and feather him also. Like he is, you know, this disgusting, and also Muslim and disrespectful of women. Like this is something that we see happen all the time when it's somebody on the far left that the establishment doesn't like. Those hits come from the Democratic establishment, not from Republicans, because Republicans don't need to take out our left flank. That's what the Democratic Party is built for, right?
Yes, indeed.
Okay. Anyway, he denied all of that. He said he had a drinking problem, but he has had, you know, he has been on this journey. A lot of it stemmed from his serving in the military, and he's against the forever wars. He's against the, you know, the genocide. He's against corporations taking over our politics. He's against billionaires, all that stuff. People rallied around him, and more Maine voters voted for him in the primary than had ever voted in a primary before. Very popular. People believed in him and believed in his message. Then, yes, was this yesterday? Yeah, yesterday, a new assertion came out. This one from Jenny Rasno, a woman who dated Graham Platner, says he sexually assaulted her. I just want the truth out there. I just want people to have a whole scope of who he is as a person, she said of the Maine Democrat, who has faced a string of scandals over past offensive online comments and accusations of mistreating women. Platner responded, these allegations are troubling, serious, and false. Any accusation of non-consensual behavior is categorically untrue. She claims that, well, all right, let's go back to that after we show her interview with Jake Tapper.
I know that you have been very reluctant to tell this story.
Yeah.
Very reluctant. Why did you ultimately decide to do it? Why come forward?
A few reasons. One of the biggest ones is that I think that there are a lot of men in this world relying on the silence of women and to be where they are. And I don't want to contribute to that. I also want to just get my life back.
There are going to be people, maybe even his campaign, certainly his supporters, who say this is politically motivated. What would you say to that?
I couldn't disagree more. That was actually one of the reasons that I didn't come out.
Because you agree with his politics.
I do. I really agree with his politics. I think we need somebody with those political stances and who are willing to do the work. And, I see his political videos. They get me fired up as well. I understand why people want someone like him in office. And I felt like me coming forward would essentially potentially take that away. And I felt really uncomfortable with the responsibility of and the weight of my story and what that might do.
When people hear this from you, are you saying you should not vote for him because of what happened?
I'm not going to go as far as to say that. I'm just here to tell my story, to give a clearer picture of who he is and the type of past that he has. And I just think it's fair to the democratic process to let people know who they're voting.
Okay. Do you have anything you want to say?
Well, I know where you're going with this because we kind of talked about it just briefly before the show, but I think you should make your position, then we'll go from there. I don't know. I don't want to undercut what you have to say before you say.
Well, the whole thing is awful because obviously, like, rape is awful, and there were parts of her story that she told to Politico that they left out of their piece, which don't excuse his behavior, right? Like, I believe that the second somebody says no, doesn't matter, you led them on, you did everything, you could be together naked in bed. If somebody says you have to stop, that's just it. Like, everything else was consensual, you say no, I'm like, I can't, done. That's just like, to me, that's where something ends.
Yeah.
Like, right.
Well, I think to set the baseline of what happened, per her story, and the part that was left out of the political piece was that she had texted him and said she could use her glutes massage.
Her glutes needed to be massaged, right?
Needed to be massaged. And he had been seeing her on and off, not dating her.
For
they
2
were
years.
just a hookup kind of thing for 2 years.
Yeah.
And he said, I'm coming over. And she told him twice via text not to come over.
Right.
And he did come over, came into her house, allegedly came up on the couch, forced himself on her, and she said no several times, and he did not stop. That's the story as I know it.
Right. Same. So it's all awful. He was so blackout drunk, apparently, that the next day he like put his arm around her and she said, this is according to her, do you remember what happened last night? I don't ever want to see you again. And he says he didn't remember. And that the reason that she let him stay there after this horrific experience was because he was so blackout drunk. She didn't want him back on the road. Obviously, he had come over to her blackout drunk, just, not great. Her door was unlocked. The only reason I'm saying that is because it's not like he didn't like break in, but he came in like against, she said, don't come. And he came in. So all of that is bad. It is strange to me that, because I guess at the same time, the Washington, that Politico was interviewing her, she was also speaking with the Washington Post. And she apparently told the same story to both of them, that she had texted him, my glutes need a massage, and then realized that, he was like, I'm coming over. She said, don't. She doesn't have that text exchange. She says she's erased all of her, private texts and emails and all that kind of stuff between him, because at the time she just wanted him out of the way and not to see him again. Politico didn't report on that part of it, which again does not excuse rape or violating her bodily autonomy when she says no, but it makes it less, it feels less like, oh, he broke and entered out of the blue for no reason kind of a thing. And that was an editorial choice to leave that out because Politico wants to do the same work as the Democratic establishment and get any Democratic socialist, left-wing, anti-genocide candidate out of there. Right?
I mean, I get it. They're trying to frame it in the worst possible ambiguous, they're letting the reader fill in the gaps of how the night transcribed, which is the worst of the worst. But I don't think it's any better whether he had a key, kick the door down or not. Like, honestly, if you're forcing yourself on a woman who told you not to come twice and then you're there and
yeah.
I mean, I guess where it factors in is if you're debating if this is real or not, to me, there's so much dirt on him. He's a scumbag. I just can't.
Yeah. Or at least he was.
Look that.
And also, if you're
regardless
somebody,
of this event, how it transpired.
Exactly. I agree 100%. And, as Laura Lee says, and it's what we say about him every time we talk about him, That's the part that I can't get past. Like, that's the part that makes me sick to my stomach. And it's not that I don't think that he maybe really is like a socialist or a democratic socialist or whatever, and also is against the genocide and also is against, you know, billionaires and corporate takeover of our government, all of that stuff. I actually believe that he really believes that. I've seen enough of his old posts that I think, you know, that it seems like that story, that timeline makes sense. But
I agree. And I can also put it on him that he had a drinking problem, was blackout drunk all the time. And, you know, you can get blackout drunk and not know what you're doing at all. And that's possible. Although,
and he also had
that story,
an aggro problem, obviously, right?
Yes, but the other accuser, the earlier accuser, calls all that into question and says, yeah, there were sometimes he couldn't remember, and there's sometimes he'd lie to me about not remembering. And then he'd tell me, I'm sorry about that. And he'd give details about what happened. So, you know, I believe both women are actually completely 100% being honest with us at this point.
I do too. Yeah, I do too. For me, it's more, well, there's a few things. One is, if the story he wants to tell about himself is, I used to be somebody who wanted to go to war and wanted to be a mercenary for Blackwater, and used to say things like, if somebody breaks into my apartment, I want to rape them. That was one of the things that was in an old, that I think it was in that New York Times story or something subsequent, but right around then, right? So obviously, like, had a lot of demons. But if his story is one of redemption, then why did he not make amends with people he knew that he hurt? Because apparently she called him after that happened and after she got her period because he wasn't wearing a condom, which apparently was another thing that he did with other women who said they told him to wear a condom, and in the middle of sex, he would remove the condom. So disgusting, right? Like, I mean, so many,
which is a crime.
Yeah, it's a crime. But like, make amends, right? Also, he had thousands of volunteers and people who donated money to him who are desperate for this kind of candidate because of his policies, because of his ideology. That when he was asked by people on the inside that, is there anything else that might come out? And he kept saying no. And then things just kept coming out. So what a scumbag on so many different levels. Going across the world to kill Black and brown people, raping women, removing your condom while you're having sex with somebody who's trusted. Like, all of these things are gross. That we all agree on. But I also think this is very clearly intense rat fucking by the Democratic establishment, because at this point he is already the Democratic nominee. He has until, I think, the 13th to remove himself, and I think he just did suspend his campaign. And the Democratic establishment in Maine has said that he has no place in trying to put his finger on the scale for whom they choose as his replacement to run against Janet Mills. And what that also means is that he's not, that he keeps asking, and his campaign has been asking them, the Democratic Party of Maine, please reach out to all of our volunteers, to the people who actually voted for me, because great, Platner should be replaced. I mean, at this point, what a fucking mess, but should be replaced, but with somebody who has all of the things that he has ideologically, minus rape and mercenary work, right? But that's not what they're going to do. It's going to be like a Kamala thing.
Yeah. And they're loving this for sure.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
It's like, it kind of feels like they knew all this dirt the whole time, you know,
100%.
And so
this is all
they
timing.
had the dirt the whole time, and they were like, how close can we get to the wire to where that we don't have time to vote again? We can't let people speak again on it.
That's
and
right.
That's what it is.
Right. So, and then also, and I do believe these women. I mean, I think that there are probably ulterior motives, but it doesn't mean that the event didn't happen, right? That the assaults or rapes didn't happen. But, waiting this long to come out after that piece came out in the New York Times, where the woman who they really profiled, Lindsay Fifield or whatever, is a Republican operative, right? Who like pushed to get Brett Kavanaugh on the bench of the Supreme Court, right? So there are, and obviously the whole Democratic Party, the way they behave to Bill Clinton. And oh, by the way, look what they did to Tara Reade when Biden was credibly accused of raping her. They went through every minute, detail from her whole past to dredge up anything that made her uncredible. I haven't seen a single thing about this Jenny Rascott person, like for her history. No, we're just taking her word for it.
Right. They are. But at the same time, there's a preponderance of evidence that the guy's a dirtbag, and it goes with his aggressive past behavior and the things that we don't like. And
Joe Biden's not empathetic. Joe Biden's a pathological liar who was the architect of the crime bill, Patriot Act, lied us into. I mean, I know you know all this, but and had 7 sexual assault allegations against him and credibly accused of rape. And they attacked Tara Reade, the accuser, instead of him. Right. So that's who we're dealing with, and what they want. They don't care.
Yeah.
They would much rather,
of course not,
have Janet Mills or what's her face, Susan Collins. They're fine with genocide. They're fine with it.
Well, they're complete hypocrites.
Yeah.
We know this. If it was their guy with this stuff, they'd hide it, right?
Yeah.
But I think at least in this moment, I think abandoning him is good for the left. I think if you didn't, you're going to get a fracture of people that are like, what the fuck is the left? If we're just going to let this guy, how are we different now?
Right.
We're doing the team thing.
I totally agree. But this that Zainab's saying, which is what, we've been talking about, different aspects of his aggro killer, rapey energy all along. They're saying that Abu Ghraib was like a video game and was fun. We forgave that. I mean, I didn't. Because we talk about it every time we bring him up. But that was forgiven. Right? But I mean, I agree with you. But then, okay, so then here's what, he has been reticent to pull out. Sorry. Jeez. And then I know. I will say that this other thing, and this is what people have been pointing to who want to discredit this main new woman who came forward, Jenny Rasco, was that when a friend wanted to set another friend up with Platner a few years ago, after this rape had happened, her words were, wait, I want to make sure that I get the exact right words. Is it here? Okay. Rasco shared with Politico a series of private Facebook messages she exchanged with an acquaintance in 2023, about a year and a half after the alleged assault and well before Platner launched his political career, in which she cautioned the acquaintance against getting involved with Platner. In the messages, Rasco said she had ended up in a bad situation with him, describing Platner as consensually careless and saying he doesn't listen to you and drunk. So people are saying, if it were really a rape, this, they're using that to try to discredit her. If it were really rape,
no,
right? I just think a lot of people don't want to divulge
disgusting.
That intent, entirely with somebody you don't even know and everything. Yeah.
And that should be enough to scare somebody off. I mean, look, could you go farther and just paint the case against him? Sure. But it's not your job to either. I mean,
yeah. And
she's got a record of saying that, which is saying a lot. Consensually, what was the word after that? I don't know, but absent, consensually absent or something.
Consensually. Wait, sorry. I'm toggling back and forth between all the different things. Was it in this
that tells you?
Yeah. Consensually careless. Yeah. Okay. So, but what his campaign did do, as we just said, they wanted their volunteers, their supporters to be consulted so that it does still feel like a democratic process, because clearly the establishment hasn't wanted him at all, right? So like they put out this this questionnaire that says to all their volunteers, what message do you have for the Democratic Party? What message do you have for Graham? The main Democrats have said, while the Platner campaign remains focused on distracting from the job of defeating Susan Collins in November with false accusations against us, the main Democratic Party remains hyper-focused on developing a representative, transparent, and inclusive process to select a new nominee when he chooses to withdraw from the race. While we may be frustrated with Graham Platner's continued efforts to manipulate this process, we are so thankful for his supporters and all their efforts to defeat Susan Collins. They are a vital part of our party and deserve to participate in an open process to select Platner's replacement. It looks like in the end, it will just be those, you know, the party elite in Maine who will choose the replacement. So, you know, I do think that there could have been more of a push earlier to try to leverage the fact that Maine voted for him overwhelmingly. So that message, that political ideology has to be represented. But I doubt that's what's going to be happening.
That is not what's going to happen at all. And that's the whole reason that they're excluded from the process and the insiders are doing all the voting.
Exactly.
Like, we just know it. There's no, there's no point to debate it even. But what they will do is they will all run on a platform like his, right? But it's bullshit and they know it. Like CNN today had on, I have no idea what her name was, but the Secretary of State in Maine is thinking about getting in the race.
Oh, right.
Right.
Yeah.
And she's like, yeah, you got to run, you know, people deserve his platform. So she's going to run on his platform. Now, I don't know her politics. Maybe she had his platform before. I don't know. I know nothing about it.
Yeah.
But that already tells you they're forecasting. We're going to pretend to be Platner-ish. And that's going to be good enough for you. Take it, people.
Yeah. So the other thing that they're doing, they're going to, of course, just shoehorn somebody in. The other thing they're doing is using this to smear the whole left flank. Like there were warning signs. Yeah, there were warning signs. There were red flags. You should have known. So basically it's like pre-crime if you didn't know already. Because again, none of the people who are saying that, like Neera Tanden, I mean, the audacity of this lady to put this tweet out. Say what you will, but the establishment vets candidates. She worked for fucking Bill Clinton. What are you talking about? I mean, and Joe Biden, like
Cuomo,
yeah, all of them,
like all
Eric
of them.
Swalwell,
Yeah,
right.
No, and I think when you look at the left accepting him, it's just everyone on the working class is hungry for anybody that's going to fight the establishment, right? And so it makes it easier to overlook the red flags when you have a chance in the system for the first time. Right. And when a lot of the early pieces are blown up bigger than they actually were. Right. Which is what happened because, you know, they think they've gotten some dirt on a candidate and they make it like 10 times worse than it actually was. And they're like, oh, a friend of a person said, and it's like, well, you don't have proof. But yes, there were red flags from the jump with this guy. People overlooked him a lot, thinking he's got bona fides enough and he's anti-establishment enough that whatever happened with all that stuff, we know the party fucking hates him and that's enough for me.
Right. And also because, again, like your choice is somebody who went off and did horrific things in our military before, but is against the current genocide or the person who supports the current genocide. So like, those are the choices. So I think the two, for like, obviously he's an asshole who did that to his supporters, did it to the whole country, right? Because it's for a Senate seat. So the state of Maine to the whole US, he has a lot he's got to deal with and figure out. But then the other part is the Democratic establishment who does this every chance they get and who right away is trying to smear the left, like, hey, we vet our candidates, and you look at their candidates and it's like, okay, they're rapists who do a genocide, who support ICE and deportations, right? So like, that's great. We know you do, and you're fine with it, but now you're not. And so what you're not fine with isn't his mistreatment of women or people in other countries. It's just that he wants to take some money away from your billionaire donors, you know? So, okay. But then the other thing, which is being brought up right here by Fendejo, Tapper lied, Roscoe's shrink did not confirm the act. That is true. So like the other big story to me is the complicity of the media, which I know we all know, but it's just like another example out there in public, because there is no confirmation, according to the Politico reporter, and we'll show a clip from this, that they got from the therapist. So that's a lie. And I mean, he does that kind of thing all the time. Tapper does. We saw him lie with Dan Goldman about Mamdani and Mahmoud Khalil. But I will say also about Mamdani, and great, like I love that when he was asked about it, about Platner, he's like, we all read the details, the horrific details. It's time for him to suspend his campaign. Great. Have some of that energy for Jeffries. Like, you cannot act like you are some moral arbiter and be fine with people who support genocide. I'm sorry. Like, it really is very upsetting to me that his behavior towards these women, which is horrific, but none of it about his work in the military or with Blackwater. Like, I don't know. I have a problem with that.
It's a mess, and the hypocrisy is on display. And, you know, I think a lot of the left is willing to overlook it to get a socialist in.
Yeah.
And, you know, ultimately we have to look at the long-term, what's good for the left. And I don't think he's good for the left. I think he's too damaging to the left. I think it would divide too many people to keep supporting him. I mean, he's out, so it doesn't matter. But I don't know. We have to stay. You can't give up your morals on a level like accepting that either. So, and I think it's fair for some women to have a different view than me on that. But like, as a guy, I don't feel like I can lean on his side at all, and I shouldn't.
Yeah.
You know, it's not.
Yeah, but I also feel like it's not up to me then to say like, oh, well, his mercenary work or his military work was in the past. Like, it's not up to me to forgive him for the deaths or terror that he caused, right? So, I mean, I think we can always do that, and we can always do the lesser of two evils. Like, obviously, to me, he is better than Collins, but like, I'm not excited. I was never excited about him, but like, you know, I don't know.
I agree
really
with
sucks.
you. I think the difference he created a credible path to think that he's not the guy who did that with the military. And even his writings all along the way were conflicted, although that, you know, we highlighted millions of things he said that were just problematic, of like, you still want to give, you know, and Zaina was saying, you know, he still wants to increase the military spending and, you know, lots of things like that. But his own writings showed way before he was running for office that he had changed his position on a lot of these things. So that gives you a pathway through it to me.
Yes. He obviously had some like very aggressive instincts, right? So that he said that he was working on and fixing. And I do think that if we decide that anybody who ever served in the military, again, it's not up to me to forgive a person for his actions. But I also think if we never allow people to grow and change, then like we'll never have a candidate. We'll never have and also like when you think about restorative justice and what is the path to to some sort of forgiveness and change and peace and healing for your victims as well. Like, it's all a little complicated, which is why I think we were sort of giving that space to say, like, this is all disgusting to me that was in his past, but he really seems to be the real deal when it comes to his socialist agenda, right? I think that's, or at least that's where I was. But yes, as Gwen says, it does require accountability. And if he's always saying, I don't remember any of that and nothing happened, and then not returning somebody's call who says she wants to talk about it, like, all of that, like, well, yes, I agree. And also,
I think the problem is there, two things. One, he doesn't have time to do restorative justice at all. Like he doesn't even have time to make the case now, right? So it's over. The minute this dropped, it was immediately over. Everybody knew it. His own campaign knew it, right? What was I going to say on top of that? Jesus, I don't know. I totally lost
restorative justice, if you can excuse it.
Oh, but the second thing is that man, I feel like AOC right now. I forgot where I was going with this entirely.
No, I know. I mean, well, because it's a lot
just
to
keep talking.
I know. I'm sorry. And like, we're trying to sort of like have the discussion, but also like, I really appreciate the discussion happening in the chat, which I also think is important. And I also think that, this is something also that is important, that, Greg Stoker was a combat vet. And if that makes anybody who was ever in combat, I think, the way Stoker talks about his combat experience and the way he speaks about issues now, to me, that does feel like he has an arc that feels genuine. And so far, and who knows, because again, this is what they do to anybody on the left who has a fighting chance. Like, they tried to make Abdul El-Sayed, because he disrespected women, that he had a problem with women, right? So like, because we know what their tactics are, I think there was probably a little bit more of a hesitancy for some people to believe the accusations coming. But I also think that some people, just like we had Matt Ho on, and he was talking about, the moral damage, which I know isn't the name, but moral harm that happens to soldiers who go off to fight in unjust wars. And he talked about some of the things that he did. And I think Matt's an amazing person who, did some awful things. And he is trying to come to some sort of peace with that, and also to, make amends and make the world a better place, right? Moral injury. Yeah. Thank you. So like, I believe that we should allow people that grace. Yeah. Go ahead.
So that's what I was trying to get to when I lost my train of thought completely.
Sorry. Yeah.
Is he didn't, none of this came up enough for us to see if he has addressed this in his life and his position. There's no time for it to evolve if any of this is true, but he also told us there was no more shoes to drop.
Yeah.
So like, to me, the fact that he leaned on that and he knew he had these demons show you that he hasn't really faced them.
Exactly.
And, and they knew if they had this the whole time, they knew he'd be cooked on that issue.
Right.
So,
which is also why, like, in the end, like, he's really gross for so many different reasons. But like, the latest reason is that he has now put this whole race in jeopardy, which is a betrayal to all of his, supporters.
I mean, the balance of power in Washington is totally on the line with each. I mean, things have to go almost perfect for Democrats to take back the Senate.
Yeah. So anyway, it's all heartbreaking. And like, I mean, obviously Trump is a pig. All the people in the Epstein files are pigs, right? Everybody who supports genocide is a fucking disgusting pig, or all of the sanctions on, Cuba and Venezuela that, our sanctions have killed 40 million people in the past 4 decades, right? Like, it's just all horrific. And they're going to highlight this and use it to try to discredit and completely excise the left from the Democratic Party. So that, you know.
Yeah, we know what they're doing. I mean,
yeah.
But look, we are better than them, right?
Right.
That's the point.
Well,
we are better
truly,
than them.
yeah.
Right.
Truly. And I mean, you know, this is what I have to say. Ask the kids in Gaza which pig they would rather have in there. I'll defer. I mean, that is because we know who the Republicans and the Democratic elite are going to put in there, which is, you know, they always, as Jen said, they would rather have Collins. They'd rather lose to Collins than win with Platner. They would rather lose to Bernie and win with Trump. They would rather lose to, well, I guess they'd rather win with Andrew Cuomo than win with Mamdani, right? Like, yeah, we know exactly what they're doing. Are you muted? Oh, okay.
No.
Okay, so
cook.
What'd you say?
I said I'm letting you cook.
Well, no, I mean, I feel I'm just so sad about it, honestly, because it will be used just like Bernie bro shit was used to discredit Bernie and all of his mean supporters online and all that. We all knew it was bullshit, but like those
but
narratives
at the same time but I don't think those narratives are taking hold, right? Because the left immediately is like, no, get out of here. We're not there. People aren't like really fighting for Platner. They're like, no, we're better than this.
Yeah.
And, you know, the leftists that are supposed to be aligned with him are like, get out of here, drop out. We don't want your stink on us either.
Yeah. Which I do appreciate. I appreciate that a ton. I mean, but it makes this all the more enraging to see somebody like Simone Sanders talking about the way he was recruited, which happens all the time. Like, yes, he was recruited. Like, yes, he did go to Hotchkiss or something for a year. He dropped out. He was from a family, I think, of lawyers, like had some money, like, but like, I'm fine with people who are class traders. That doesn't bother me. Like, people are like, oh, Mamdani's, you know, mom is a Hollywood director. Okay, great. But like, he still seems to be out there fighting for the working class. Like, great. We need more class traders. I would love, like, welcome them in. That doesn't bother me. I do know that one group recruited him. But I will say that like his old Reddit post still made him feel like a real socialist, right? So I don't know. It's just very upsetting. Here is Simone Sanders pouring more gasoline on my raging fire.
I just want to throw this fact on the table and then y'all take it. But the folks who, Graham Platner was recruited. And he was not recruited by the Democratic Party. He was recruited by two folks, Leanne and Dan, okay? Who used to work for Senator Sanders in 2020, and they have gone around the country recruiting candidates to run for offices, and unlikely candidates, as you noted. Dan Osborne in Nebraska is one of the folks that they recruited. Everybody they've recruited has not been a dud, if you will. So, you know, I'll give them that. But what they did is they swooped into Maine, okay, and thought that they knew better than the people in Maine. And that they fielded all of these different people. They looked through, they said hundreds of candidates, and they found this video of Graham Platner, and they were like, this is the guy. He looks like this is the guy. His story is it. They vetted him just a little bit. The firm came back and gave some stuff that has been found out the firm did not know. But the people that lambast, I will just say, as someone that had prior to this spent my life doing campaign work as a professional political staffer, the people who lambast professional political staffers, I think, might need to take a step back, because a professional political staffer would have had a communications crisis plan. A professional staffer would have done a SWOT analysis. A professional staffer, somebody who had been in the game for a while, would have said, we got to ask some locals. So I do just think that there is this idea that, the establishment was going to pick a candidate, so one rose up from the dirt. No, baby. Graham Platner was served up on a platter.
Okay, but also the voters loved him. And also, she worked for Biden. Like, sorry that he doesn't have the Me Too firm and Liz Smith and Tina, who is the other person who worked for Harvey Feinstein or Harvey oh my God, Weinstein, and then also
Solano?
No, it's oh God, somebody help me. God damn it. All right. Anyway, but like all of these people, yeah. So great. If you happen to be the chosen candidate of the Democratic establishment, you are going to have all these multi-billion-dollar firms who swoop in to do, you know, all of this background investigation on the accuser and make her a victim again, the way they did with Tara Reid, the way they tried to do with Christine Ford, Rafi Ford. God, you guys, I should have remembered. Yeah, Blasey Ford with Kavanaugh, right? Like, sure, that's what you. Sanders had that, right?
Look, a couple things. Progressive wing of the party doesn't have resources of the Democratic Party. Yep, they're excluded. They are the enemy of the Democratic Party. You could have had those resources out there available to progressive candidates to get their own, but you don't want them in there. You want the progressives to put a guy forward who has these bona fides that you can dig up the dirt in. So they don't have money, right? So that's one piece. The other piece is they did pick a good candidate other than the background vetting, because accurately they picked the guy that the fucking state loves. And they picked him for his policies. And can this guy exude these policies in a state like Maine that's a purple state and win? And the answer was yes. Now, yes, if they had money to do the background check, he should have been excluded.
Yeah. And I mean, I think that's the other thing is the truth is the voters love his policies. They love his frank talk. They were fine with, even if they knew that some of his history was problematic, they supported him in droves, even after that June 4th New York Times story. If he had unseated Susan Collins in rural Maine as a socialist, you know, how many of those losses can the Democratic establishment withstand before their lies completely crumble, right? Like it already happened with Mamdani, the big anti-Semite in the most, you know, Jewish populated area in the world apart from Israel. Mamdani wins. So Jews were fine with him, right? Like, so their narrative keeps crumbling. This one would have been, and it would have changed the makeup of the Senate, right? So like, there is no doubt that the Democratic establishment is working with the Republican establishment, right? So yeah, it's very
and the more look, I mean, did you see the polling in New York on Mamdani versus
Israel?
Israel. So Mamdani is +3 with Jewish people in New York. I think it's 3, right?
Yeah, 5.
+5, and Netanyahu is -27 with Jewish people in New York.
In the U.S. In the U.S.
Oh,
in the whole U.S.
There's a different one.
Oh, okay.
There's a New York only one that was 3.
Okay.
That's why we had different numbers. But anyway, same idea. Yeah. I mean, it's like clearly you can't keep spinning this. I mean, they're going to keep doing it, but it's not credible anymore when you say that Jews hate Mamdani and they hate the left policies and that, you know, everyone's an anti-Semite. Nobody's buying it.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So they had to do something fast. And of course, again, you know, we've got, so Neera Tanden, even, I mean, this is so crazy. The Bulwark, those are former George W. Bush Republicans, the Bulwark, but they were for Platner. And so now, you know, this Republican operative, I think Jim Garrity is, going forward, every reference to the Bulwark should state the Bulwark, who had a columnist who argued Graham Platner should be the Democratic nominee in 2028. I mean, again, the Democrats brought Bill Clinton up on the stage in 2016 at the height of Me Too in 2020.
Yeah, no. The hypocrisy is just off the charts. I mean, today on CNN, they were talking about how, Trump needs to resign because they show him on stage and he forgets a name or forgets the country. Look, you can't tell me that after Biden. Like,
yeah.
For Trump to be discredited, he's doing enough real shit. You can't
exactly.
His age is anywhere near an issue like it was with Biden, and you all just played with Biden.
Yeah,
played along with Biden. So.
Yeah, it's it's awful. All right. I guess we don't need to watch Adam Wren talk about it. Anyway, it's all really awful. And, it is because we're about to spin, I know. But then when we come back, there is, here was Abdul El Sayed saying credible allegations of sexual assault cannot be ignored. Voters in Maine deserve a choice for U.S. Senate that doesn't force them to make a moral compromise between sexual violence or corporate servitude. And Haley Stevens, Abdul, are you having trouble stringing these two sentences together? I believe women, Graham Platner should drop out, which is basically like, she's such an asshole, first of all. She's such an asshole. But, he made fun of her or spoke about her in that sort of derisive way, saying that she can't string her two sentences together. So this is her just trying to get back at him.
Her back.
Just so lame.
Well,
and he's right.
She got absolutely pummeled in their debate the other night.
Oh my God. Yeah, we have a clip or two.
Oh,
yeah.
We got some.
Yeah.
I didn't know you pulled
Booyah, as she said. VDA, thank you for your super sticker. Thank you. Cheers. Okay.
Have a slap and a tickle.
A slap and a tickle. Let's get the wheel going. It's just really sad how desperate we all are in this world, in this nation, for good leaders, good people to represent us. And it should not be this hard. And the thing that really sucks is you have to be, if you're on the left, you have got to be so pure. That it is going to make people not ever want to run or get involved in politics. And that's also something that I think some people are weighing as they are trying to figure out the best, strategy to deal with this system. But all right, here we go. I need more wine. Oh, God, I got so excited.
All right, let's go with Noam Schuster Eliasa. Eliasi, I don't know. I'm terrible at the pronunciation.
I love watching your TikTok, which is next level. Clearly, that's expressed by my 13-year-old son.
No! God, please, no! No!
I wanted to get on with my career without worrying about fertility, and I didn't want anything to hold me back. So I froze my eggs. Woo! Anybody froze their eggs?
Jewish comedian.
I think we don't do this in Austria because there is no air condition for the eggs. There is an obsession with fertility among Jews and in Israel in the public health system. The only time I felt seen as a woman, appreciated, and all the doors were open, oh, you want to preserve your kosher Jewish eggs? Come in. Come into the freezer. We want all your Jewish eggs. I had an appointment with a nurse. She looks at me, and this is what she tells me. You have to preserve the continuation of the Jewish people of Israel because your children will be brave soldiers for the people of Israel. I was like, ma'am, you don't know who you're talking to. I will fill up your freezer with traitors. I will get so many eggs in your freezer who will free Palestine. Yes. I didn't tell her that because I didn't want my appointment to get canceled.
That's awesome. Noam Schuster Eliasi. I like her. That's good. All right. Well, let's just see a taste, as we were talking about, of the Abdul El Sayed debate versus Haley Stevens from, this was last night, I think, right? I don't know. Anyway.
Yeah, I think it was yesterday.
Yeah. Okay. Here we go. Direction of the party. What's the direction of the Democratic Party?
The real issue is about the people locking you out of your politics versus the people being locked out. And I will stand always on the side of the folks who are locked out. That is a pathway in our politics that I think all of us can get behind. It's not red, it's not blue, it's not Democrat, it's not Republican, it's American. Government of the people, by the people, and for the people. That is where our politics needs to go. And in the next 250 years, when we get to chart where we go from here, I hope we remember that that's what we need.
60 seconds.
I will run through anything and anyone to deliver for Michigan. We've got to lower the cost. Look, there are many who want to make this run for U.S. Senate about Washington, D.C. insider deals and what's going on with our party leadership. Friends, this is about the future of Michigan. Who is going to be the workhorse? Look, I've got the receipts. I have passed big pieces of legislation. I passed my first bill to secure STEM grants for our K through 12 schools in my first year in Congress. I am ready to hit the ground for our schools, for our educators, and to stand up to the corruption and the abuse of power that we see coming down from Donald Trump. If you want to stop Trump, I'm your gal.
The question was about the direction of the party. Is it shifting?
Well, I'll tell you this. It won't shift if we continue to elect leaders who take money from the same corporations who have broken with the interests of the American public. Chuck Schumer desperately wants one of us to be the next senator, and it's not me. So if you want your politics dictated you by AIPAC or Chuck Schumer, then I'm not your guy. I think we need to go back to the idea of government of the people, by the people, and for the people. $40 million of spending in this race. $40 million. I want you to think about what that means. That's money that buys something on the back end. So if you elect the person who took that money, don't be surprised when they betray you.
Except for, again, I have the receipts as the most effective lawmaker for Michigan. I'm not trying to go viral or get a good tweet out, all right? If you check the facts, the claims that my opponent has made about eradicating medical debt are untrue. If that's all you got to run on, Abdul, well, then good for you.
So wait, she is running on not erasing medical debt? I don't even know what she said. She's awful. She's just awful.
I mean, my assumption is it can't be done is her position, right? Like nothing can be done.
Magical ponies. Magical ponies.
Yeah, she says she's going to run through everybody and everything for Michigan.
Yeah.
But then her top goal is the corruption from Trump.
Yeah.
Right. So that's where you're missing it. The public wants you to fight your own fucking party now. And if you aren't doing that, you aren't going to win almost anywhere.
Exactly. Exactly. And they certainly don't want you talking about how Israel comes to you in your dreams. So there's a new website that the Abdul El-Sayed campaign put up that is just a clip of her saying on a loop, I went to the site, Israel comes to me in my dreams, over and over and over and over again. She is hideous. Right after the debate, she quickly put up this. It's been an hour since we left the debate stage, and I want to say thanks to everyone who tuned in. Booyah. And it has her winning 62% to 38%. And then a few hours later, and I mean, this is an internet poll, so who the hell knows? But of course, then El-Sayed was at 72% to her 28%. I do think,
it speaks of the $40 million they had.
Yeah.
Because they flooded it initially, but then you can't catch up to the public. I mean, because you probably have to register an email and there's a lot of work involved. So they did all that front end and then just got bowled over eventually. And they get their talking point out. She gets to get a tweet out, and maybe that's all her people see.
Right.
Is the initial thing.
Yeah.
And then real news is that she got murdered in the debate.
It's all their staff in India is
right.
You know, they're paying the AIPAC workers. Yeah. So, you know, then she does this thing because, you know, they obviously, I know we all know this, but it's amazing just to see the same playbook that we saw in 2016, the Bernie bros, the sexism, the makes my skin crawl, doesn't feel right. But do you see that he had his rape essay from 30 years ago? You know, all that kind of stuff. Oh, then it's the electability. People aren't going to elect. They're doing all of the same things. They tried it with Mamdani and even tacked on the anti-Semitic thing. It's what they're doing with Abdul El-Sayed, the anti-Semitic. Oh, he's a Hassan Piker terrorism fan, didn't work. So then they tried to smear him as disrespectful towards women. And they're finally getting their wish with Graham Platner. But what they're not ever doing is a democratic process where the voters have a say.
They have destroyed their credibility on this issue. When they try to say the electability argument in the general election is in play, no, you're so far away from where the public is on these issues. Hello, Strike. That nobody believes you anymore. It's Lucy in the football. Oh, they're not electable. And it's like, well, we keep electing the ones that are actually left on the ballot. So we don't believe you.
Yeah, the contempt for their own voters, like the red flag warning signs. You could say that about absolutely everybody. Spanberger, right? Mickey Sherrill, Josh Shapiro. Like, I mean, it's all so dishonest and gross. And so, and it's never about the policies. I don't think there's a single rebuttal either to Abdul El-Sayed's policies or to Platner at all. So they can't run on their message. That's just like Republicans. Like, we're just gonna make it harder for people to vote. That's what we're gonna do. Or we're gonna take away the primary entirely, which is, I mean, that's what's happened in the national Democratic elections. When's the last time we had a real primary? 2008. That was our last real honest primary.
Well, and they've managed to do that with Platner. I mean, he does deserve to be out of the race. Don't get me wrong, but they've manipulated this information and timed it, and now there's no primary anymore for Michigan. I mean, Maine.
Yep, and they will shoehorn their corporate person in, and then, and so, you know, I mean, I know we all know the same stuff. It's just very upsetting.
Yeah, but then they're going to blame the left. They're going to blame the left because there wasn't enough time to put a campaign together like Kamala Harris.
And the left didn't do their due diligence on vetting their candidates, right? That's, I mean, so, and I think there are enough people who are possibly on the fence who feel like they are taking a chance, embracing socialism, democratic socialism, somebody who's not their typical person. I mean, you know, look in Maine, how many years in a row they've been voting for Susan Collins. And it really looked like Platner had so much energy behind him. And now the whole left will be tarred. Yeah. All right. That said, this guy is kind of a hero. So the craziest thing, a skyscraper in Manhattan, I think the 27th floor starts buckling. I think one of the owners of the building is a Pfizer CEO who decided to bypass the union. I don't even know how that's allowed, how you can bypass union construction workers to build a building in New York City. But anyway.
Well, so the building is it's been there for a while. They're adding floors on top of it. It's capitalist greed.
But like, how is that allowed? Like,
the luxury apartments on top.
Anything here.
Just explain the story.
Right. But like, how is that allowed? Like, where are, like, you have building permits, you have people who, well, I guess, okay, you must have to have building permits. Some kind of,
oh yeah, of course,
architect or contractor who understands physics, what's going to happen if you aren't using the right beams or whatever the hell, right? I mean, anyway, this is Cliff Johnson, who's the union rep, discussing exactly what happened with this building and pulling no punches.
We're steam fitters, local 638. We're doing the fire protection in this building, and what happened here was this building was renovated, and they were going to add another 16 stories to it. But at that point, you need to add more steel, and they obviously didn't add the right amount of steel. So the north side of that building is crumbling. The I-beams are bending like cigarettes in there, which is super dangerous. So I'm assuming they're going to evacuate everyone on the north side of 43rd Street. So, you know, we're union steam fitters. The union iron workers went after this job. They lost it pretty much off profit is what they're looking to do. The contractor that's over here. So we're New York City. We build it right. We build it the first time. And they chose profit over safety. and put my members and every construction worker over here in jeopardy.
Cliff, can you walk us through what's it going to take to get this back up to code, get this back safe?
You're going to have engineers in here like you wouldn't believe, making sure that everything is supported. And I don't know what's going to happen with the other side of the building now. Time will tell. How much did it sink? How much more is it going to sink? That's the question.
So you had members up there at the time?
Members right here.
They were up there. What did they see? What did they?
Cracking windows, bent beams, floor, concrete was falling from the roof below, and they brought it up, and then they had to evacuate the job immediately. So, and here we are now. I know that's the situation now. What we want is responsible construction in New York City. That's all we want. We don't need you to put profits over and crunch wages down and pay people less just so you can make a couple more bucks off renting your apartments out here. That's what we want. So, and then look what happens.
We hear reports of the building potentially leaning over.
It's the walls that are currently being built in there. You have studs and you have sheetrock. They're bent in half right now. That's how much it's dropped on that side of the building. I have photos. I can send them to you guys. You can put them on whatever you want to do.
So the crew has known about this for a little while?
No, this just started happening
Okay.
today, and it happened fast. You know what I mean? Because they keep adding. And as you add, you put more weight. And when you put more weight, that's what's going to happen when it's not engineered correctly or installed incorrectly.
Timeline-wise, can you walk us through how long you see this?
I don't see anyone coming back in this job for a month at least.
That's terrifying. But that's how we do everything here. But I love that he was like, union guys put a bid on it. They thought they could do it cheaper. And now they put the whole building and the whole city in danger.
They did. And they've had to evacuate, every building around it, and even more than one behind it, because you could have it collapse against a building and have a domino effect of collapses. So the expense to the city of New York over this is just astronomical. I mean, it's going to cost $1 billion to fix this fucking thing.
Pay for that. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, this happens every day. Everything that they accuse socialism of being, or communism, or whatever they accuse, it doesn't even matter because it's all lies. But if you can save a couple dollars, I mean, it's pretty terrifying to know how little our lives matter to them, but they show it to us every single day. Do you want to show?
Oh yeah,
another.
We
Yeah,
should.
yeah. Okay, all right. I figured. I could tell. I could tell you're
Absolutely.
flagging. I think you need another slap and tickle. Is what you need.
I'm having pizza.
All right, puppets. We haven't had a puppet, right?
That's true. Let's go with the alarm clock dogs.
Took the best nap. Hello.
Oh my God, they're so cute. That's the worst feeling, though, I have to say.
I have that in a small way with my cat.
Really?
Because Strike, I don't know. It's strange that a cat that weighs like less than 10 pounds can have like little pin pricks that it feels like, but she'll like crawl her whole body on like one arm and just lay there.
Interesting.
And it's like, it's like, it's not painful, but it's just like, you can't ignore it. You can't sleep through it.
Does she do it at like a special time or just any time?
Oh, well, every day my alarm goes off at 8 o'clock, and every day, like between 7 and 7:30, she's trying to get me up.
Oh, that stinks.
Yeah,
that stinks. Len, this makes me laugh because I was thinking like there's going to be a whole new round of 9/11 discussion because of these buildings. I'm just going to leave it there so we don't get canceled today, but I do some point want to do a real investigation into all the different claims about 9/11 because there's a lot, and I've pulled all the old footage, all of it. Okay, let's see.
Onward.
Sorry, yes, but also I think we did show one Lego video which was about cheating and still losing with the cheating with the World Cup and still losing, USA cheating and still losing. But there is one that I think this is just kind of interesting. We were talking about it last, I think maybe on Sunday, that other countries that are, seeking their own independence from the colonizing countries who steal their resources are using Lego for whatever reason, because Iran and these people have done it so well, Explosive Media and the Persia Boy guy especially, have done these so well. It's resonating with people. And we found this from a Scottish creator. I think it's called Scotland's Oil, and this is Brick Truth, I think is the account.
They drill our oil, they take our sea. 89% belongs to me. Westminster pocket, Scotland gets crumbs. They call it union, we call it thumbs. No referendum, no voice, no choice. They stole the oil and silenced the noise. 500 years taking our gold. Scotland's story, never told. 66,000 jobs on our shore. 14 billion, they want more. Net zero for them, oil for the crown. We built the empire, they tore it down. No referendum, no voice, no choice. They stole the oil and silenced the noise. 500 years taking our gold. Scotland's story, never told.
Two F's. That's a catchy bagpipe jam. I want some bagpipe rap now or something.
I mean, it's fun, right? It's like, and also it's educational. It's really like, oh God, there's been so much damage done by empire in so many different places, and it's hard sometimes to keep track of all of it. And I so appreciate a 2.5 minute fun jam that gives a little education. That's good, right? It opens up worlds to people that maybe they would not have. I know, listen, we talk about reading all the time, and I am guilty also of not reading enough. I mean, I read a ton of, political things, articles, books, but not novels, not like old history. Everything's much more like about what's happening now, or something that we refer to, or another politician maybe refers to, or something. But like, our country is not reading anymore. And that is scary for what it's doing to our brains. And obviously our knowledge and our capacity to come up with new things and have intelligent conversations and philosophical point and counterpoint, and how do you be creative and all the different stuff. I sometimes think that that's like the most radical thing an individual can do at this point is keep reading. But in lieu of that, these Lego videos are pretty awesome.
They're catchy.
Yeah.
No, it's true. I mean, the next generation, I forget the actual numbers of what age demographic it was, but, and I got this on NPR, but I think it was people under 25 compared to the year 2000 are using 60% less words, less variety of words when they speak.
Wow.
Like 60% less flavor in their language, basically, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And words are power, right? So like if you don't have a specific word to be able to describe something, it limits your actual analysis, honestly, on some level, right? If everything is sort of like very, really incredible, amazing, if you don't have something with more specificity, your thoughts become a little less specific and complex. So I think it is really important, especially when you know that the biggest monsters in the world have these retreats where they all come together, whether it was like Epstein and all of the scientists and creatives that he would bring together at his roundtables.
Or the Peter Thiel thing.
Or the Peter Thiel thing. I just saw, I think it was in Ireland, that they were supposed to have their like some big convention. And when the hotel realized who was coming and that it was Peter Thiel's convention, they canceled it. I like it.
That's awesome.
Yeah. All right. We kind of missed, we missed a couple things. I just wanted to, I don't even really know who this woman is, but she's some big Democratic muckety muck, Rachel Bitkafer. She's like, I think she's like a Molly Jung Fast, whatever person, national political analyst, strategist, pollster, PhD, be smarter than your friends, read The Cycle on Substack. This account kills fascism. And yet somehow she feels perfectly comfortable writing on July 5th, I'm starting to hate the Gaza people with the passion of 1,000 suns. Y'all get that the average Palestinian would cheer your death. That's a Democratic Party. She's a Democrat. She kills fascism.
Yeah.
This account kills fascism.
The average Palestinian loves the average American. They hate our fucking government like everyone else in the world.
Yeah.
Like this communication that's been available with, social media, that's the beauty of it, is the people are together.
Yeah.
We're like, all of our governments are fucked. They're not working for us. They're mad at us a little bit because we were not revolting.
Right.
They know we agree with them, but we're cowards.
Yeah. But I mean, I will say, like, when, they do see protesters in the street, they do see, the way those Iranian Lego accounts are always emphasizing, the mothers of victims in Gaza, in the West Bank, in Lebanon, in Iran, in the US, and trying to sort of like thread that, like it is the people in power. And for that person to like, what is she writing? Why would you write that and feel so comfortable with it? The fact that actually anybody feels comfortable speaking that way out loud, but somebody who is a strategist in the Democratic Party.
Well, they need, that's part of the propaganda is you've got to mainstream some of these beliefs. You need to develop a segment of people that are like, oh, foreign policy, things are so bad here that like, why are you on that? So like, having the K-Hive wing of the party, for example, that fucking hates everything left.
Yeah.
It serves the party. It lets some people have a narrative for their story for why they hate Bernie or they hate Mamdani or whatever,
Yeah. But I really wonder, like, what does she hate? I mean, maybe she's getting paid by AIPAC. I don't know. I mean, are people is everybody that propagandized that they really believe that anybody who is a proponent or who fights for or advocates for Palestinian self-determination and liberation is actually supporting
remember,
terrorism. Like, is that what they're doing?
Well, there was that push, I think literally by K-Hive, but some of the Democrats and some, black voters, black people, to make it an issue of like, you're prioritizing, you can't pay me enough to care about Palestine because it's sort of a distraction from our issue.
Or like immigrants, like they're taking stuff that, I mean, I do.
Instead
I think
of the
you're right,
solidarity of it, there was but I think that's a propaganda push. I don't believe it's real. Really.
I don't either.
I think most activists understand the convergence of all these issues.
I think so too. I mean, I also think that obviously, as we all know, the point of the system is to keep us all divided and scrambling for more. And so that, people who have been so downtrodden and abused in this country, Native Americans, Black people, then are ripe for an instigator or a propagandist to make them feel like, hey, it's either you or the immigrant who's coming to take your job, right? So like then that becomes a point of tension, as opposed to there's actually plenty for all of us. Look up, and if we did have solidarity, those people wouldn't be able to take advantage of all of us, right? Because there's so many more of us than there are of them. And it's easy to feed on people's anger and hurt and desperation if you keep them angry and hurt and desperate.
And it is a push by AIPAC and, the Israeli lobby to like, to take away what we know now to be true, which is that your support of Israel is a litmus test and it's a lie detector test for our politicians.
Yep.
And so that one issue is telling more than it should be. I mean, more than these people want it to be. They want us to say, we could disagree on Israel, but like, that's not everything. You can't, So if you have this radical wing of people that believe that and they're pushing it, it kind of provides a path for people to say, I can support someone who's pro-Israel. That's what they want to create.
Yeah. And I mean, it started, Bill Maher does this all the time. I mean, I don't watch him, but when we see, sorry, my dog's howling. But he'll say like, why all of a sudden everybody cares so much about foreign policy. Like it's not all intertwined. And also like you imagine mocking people who are caring about a genocide. What do you like? I don't even understand how they feel comfortable talking about this. And it's only possible because of decades of dehumanizing Palestinians and anybody in the Middle East, right? And making them terrorists. They're evil. They are less human, all of it.
Yeah. But there's a reason that's coming from this propagandist, because that's what they want. It's like, she's not speaking as a party member when she says this stuff. She's just getting this thing out there on the internet. It's like, you can support somebody who has a policy you don't care about. You're ambivalent about. It's okay to be ambivalent about the people getting genocided. That's it.
It's happening over there. So you can
still vote for our guy, because our guy has to keep taking the money.
It's so disgusting. Honestly, they're just hateful, which I think, and unfortunately what that does is it makes some people then look at somebody like a Graham Platner and think, well, lesser of two evils, at least he's against the genocide. Right. NorCal Scroopy, you're not a pain in the ass. It's good to hear the pushback and to know, we love it. But I love you to the streets. Yeah. I mean, that's
never thought of you as a pain in the ass.
Not at all. But I mean, it's, sometimes when I feel so, like the diversion, because I want to read all the comments and you guys are all so smart and well-informed. And, I think mostly we're all on the same page. So it makes me even more interested when there are differences of opinion. And thank you for your super chat. And then also, wait, I just saw something. Sorry, lots of buttons. So much. Yeah. I mean, that's their whole, Holly, AIPAC strategy is Islamophobia. They have been pushing that for, decades. And the money they put into their propaganda, into making anybody who is Muslim a terrorist.
Yeah. And they do that obviously because it's dehumanizing and you can just ignore it because it's those people. But also it brings in the tie between Christianity and Judaism, which you know there really isn't one, to be honest. But they're making one so that if you're a Christian in this country, you should be supporting Israel because it's so close to us, because we're not the other religion is so much worse than these two. These are the only two good ones.
It's really just so despicable. Like, they can't believe that Mamdani was sworn in on a Quran, right? Yeah. And that Randy Fine can walk around saying the most vile shit about Palestinians, and Brian Mast. And this lady, I mean, she's not an elected member, but still, like, she should never be out in public again.
If I ever get sworn in, it'll be on like maybe the Quran, maybe it'll be a stack of fucking science books.
I mean, that's what it should be, right? Like Darwin or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Western values, murder and theft. Yeah. And yes, of course, it's hundreds of years. Yeah. The savages and yeah. How else do you justify the evil of empire, right? Speaking of the evil of empire, we've got NATO having its big get together this week. Trump, first of all, keeps wandering off randomly and has to have Erdogan like pull him back in. He also keeps confusing different people's names, the name of the JPCOA. This is just a 40-second quick compilation of some of it, but he's not Biden level yet, but he's on his way for sure.
I told this story yesterday, we had 111 missiles shot by the Islamic Republic of Japan. They were shot at the aircraft. JC, POC, what a terrible deal. I call it the Obama nuclear waste deal, because what he did with that deal is he caused tremendous hardship in the Middle East. It was a terrible thing. You have a question for President Putin, please? Do you have a question for President Putin? Not Zelensky. Yeah, what would you like to ask him? Because I'm going to ask him that question.
I have a question. Last year.
I mean,
yeah, look, I don't know. I'm on the Republican side on the Trump gaffes and things. He's just unprepared and tired and not used to having to work. I think that's it with him mostly. Like, I don't think he's losing his slip on reality like people want to pretend he is.
He's really definitely not at the Biden level at all, but he's not capable the way he was, you know, even 5 years ago. He's just, that's a different person, right? Not that he was ever good. He was always a blowhard, but he wouldn't keep pointing to Zelensky and calling him Putin and then pretend that he's, I'm not talking about Zelensky. I'm talking about Putin. I mean, he's a mess. Here's another thing though, that like, he's asked this question, wait 1 second, and he doesn't totally understand the question and then defers to Rubio.
Mr. President, what is your assessment on Ukraine's strike on Russian oil refineries and military factories?
Where are you from?
Ukraine.
Phrase the question differently, please.
Ukraine delivered strikes on Russian military factories and on oil refineries, and they ran out of gas.
Marco, why don't you answer that? Because you're right in the middle of it.
Yeah, no, I think what you're discussing is the ability of Ukraine to reach deep inside of Russia and conduct strikes. I think that's one of the dynamics that's changed in this war over the last few months, and that is that the Russians are finding it more difficult to defend their own airspace.
So first of all, not capable of answering that. He was supposed to end this war on day one, whatever. Of course, he's an idiot, so nobody really expected that. But we are in such dangerous territory right now with what NATO is doing in its aggressive policies towards Russia. Like this is more and more. There are, ex-CIA members, there are diplomats, advisors from other countries talking about how it's more dangerous than for them to use a little nuclear, which obviously, I mean, I don't think anybody should be using nuclear. I also do think a little bit it is dangerous to keep allowing this aggression from NATO. And it also, I mean, they're actually killing people, right? Like, I mean, so is Russia, but like, they are getting shot into Russia and their civilians are being killed and their people are more and more advocating for them to go bigger.
No, I mean, the conflict keeps escalating. I think that's the bigger issue than even like the Trump has the nukes. But I mean, obviously we shouldn't encourage or appreciate any statement of like nukes are okay, a little nukes as a treat, all of that. Like, no, that you shouldn't discuss that as the moral authority in the world, allegedly.
Right.
But the bigger issue to me is the actual escalation by both sides. We're nowhere closer to both sides like coming to the table and having a deal to stop this
at all. Nobody's trying to do it at all. We went through whatever it was, 2 years with Biden where there were no direct talks with Putin and any hope for any diplomacy was shot down. And here we are again with Trump, losing spectacularly to a war of choice against Iran, starting it up again in the middle of a funeral that had to have awakened, you would hope, some of the people in his administration who see that there are millions of people coming out to mourn or to pay honor to Khamenei. And not just in Iran, even moving towards Iraq, right? So that narrative, if anybody in the US, watched any news apart from the corporate news, that narrative is falling apart, that, it's a deeply unpopular regime that they could do an easy regime change with, that they, killed 40,000 of their own protesters, even people who are, dissenters who don't like the Iranian government as it is now, still don't want the US to bomb them and slaughter their children.
No, of course not. I mean, their narrative is totally falling apart. I think when you see Trump defer to Rubio, he just doesn't give a fuck about what really happens in any of this, is what it comes down to me. It's just unprepared, unconcerned. He made $2 billion on his crypto last year. Like, he's good.
Yeah.
He doesn't care how it reflects in the party. He's like, Rubio, why don't you try out for president? Let's see what you have to say. And Vance, why don't you go out and give a speech? I don't, just less of Trump having to do this stuff.
I mean, the fact that he can't even, first he asked to rephrase the question and then has Rubio step in. Why should the commander-in-chief know what the hell's going on? None of it matters. And then talking this way about the ceasefire being over, like, we are really, I know we've been saying this now since February 28th, but even if everything started up again today, we still have economic disaster barreling towards us. And it's not stopping. So here is Trump talking about the ceasefire and the character of Iranians.
Is the ceasefire over? Is the ceasefire done? Is the MOU dead?
It's a very interesting question. To me, I think it's over. I don't want to deal with them anymore. They're scum. You know what scum is? They're scum. They're sick people. They're led by sick people. And they're vicious, violent people. And if they had a nuclear weapon, they'd use it. As far as I'm concerned, it's over. I'll speak to our negotiators. They want to negotiate. They're good people. Steve Witkoff, Jared Kushner. But they have to come back to me. As far as I'm concerned, it's just a waste of time dealing with them. They're liars. We make a deal. And if I make a deal with him, we have a deal. And he goes out, he talks. We make a deal. Everyone's agreed. No nuclear weapon. We make a deal. They go outside, talk to the press. They say, we never even talked about it. There's something wrong with them. They're cuckoo. As far as I'm concerned, it's over.
Yeah. I mean, just like despicable way to talk about people and war. And it's just lies.
It's just lies. He's just blustered his way through his whole career, and he's unprepared, doesn't follow it closely. It's all just, am I getting good tweets out about it? You know, that kind of shit. But even if it goes terribly wrong until the day he's out of the presidency and it ruins the Republican Party, he doesn't care. So there's no check on him at this point at all. And so if he surrounds himself with war hawks, he will have war forever.
Yep. Which is such a huge betrayal to his own followers. And obviously he doesn't care. And we all knew that he has, you know, been a liar his whole life. But, and I don't trust or like Marjorie Taylor Greene or Tucker Carlson, but they speak more frankly about the warmongering and the attention on other countries instead of the people that he was elected to help in this country than most Democrats, at least. Which
it's true. And even if it's opportunistically, or even if it's just to go on as a Republican post-Trump and save the party in spite of Trump, maybe that's their agenda, you know. But they're benefiting economically. But why don't you have Democrats left of them? You know, it's embarrassing.
They love this war. They love it. This is also interesting. I don't really think that there's friction, obviously, between Netanyahu, or definitely not between Israel and Trump. Possibly Netanyahu, because they want to just get rid of him and move on to an even bigger fascist, right? Like another Kahanist terrorist.
Yeah, he's going to be the scapegoat that all the U.S. politicians are going to point to, and he sees what's happening. That's what they're doing. They're already setting the stage for it.
Yep. But so here he is praising Turkey and China with his, and like making digs at NATO and maybe even a little bit at Netanyahu.
Like with Bibi, I like Bibi. I think Bibi was a terrific wartime prime minister. But Bibi said rough things yesterday about Turkey and Erdogan. And I said, you know, I spoke to him. I said, he could have gone into the war because he doesn't like Israel much. And he doesn't like Bibi much. And he didn't go because of me. And this is a military power. Millions of soldiers. Turkey is very strong. They have a lot of our best equipment. They're trying to get the F-35s. But he didn't go in. He would go in. If it weren't for me, he would have gone in. And he would have been on the other side. Even though I don't think he likes the other side either, because he happens to be very sane and they happen to be very crazy. But so I think, you know, they treated us right. I think China treated us right. I was with President Xi, and I said, I hope you're not going to go into the war, because we don't want that. You know, he gets 50% of his oil from the Strait of Hormuz, and he gets more than 50%. And he never went into the war. He didn't supply him equipment, you know. He was great. I'm a big fan of President Xi.
Trump's formula is just so predictable. Whoever he's in front of, he cowers to them and believes what they have to say because they have facts and data, and you know they convince him of the thing, and then he comes out and makes an argument to just support what the guy next to him says. Like,
right.
Every time, except for when it was Zelensky that one time. But
yeah, although now, you know, I mean, now it feels like he is going the way of NATO, and Zelensky is his buddy now, right? And the truth is, for all of
that's my argument, that whoever's in front of them can convince him. So all these And everybody knows the psychology of a narcissist. And so all these countries, they train their leader how to deal with Trump. There's a whole program you're going to go through on here's what you say and fluff his ego in this direction. And this is how you get a narcissist to agree with you. And so they all do that. Every country from NATO did that at this NATO conference. And then Trump comes out and he's got a whole different view of NATO.
Right, but he still is disparaging them, right? And saying like, oh, President Xi's pretty good, treated me better than NATO did. But the truth is, when he is saying NATO has to pay more into it, why isn't every country paying their 5%? What he's actually doing is strengthening NATO. Like, even though he says the disparage, right? So like, I think that's the thing, is always to look at like, where's the money? So there's no way that JD Vance, when he said those things about like, you can't blow up all your neighbors, and people keep pointing to that as like a rift between the US and Israel. There's no rift. We keep giving them all the weapons. They're, slaughtering. They continue to slaughter Palestinians in Gaza, in the West Bank. Lebanese, they have taken over, the south of Lebanon. They want this war with Iran. And Peter Thiel picked JD Vance. And Peter Thiel is a diehard Zionist. So JD Vance can say all that. This is all kayfabe. They're still in
carving
it
out. They're carving out. You're the Harlem Globetrotters. We're the Washington Wizards,
exactly,
or Washington Generals. That's it. They're just like, Rubio, what are you going to run on? I'm going to run this. You're going to run that.
Yeah. So here is internationally wanted war criminal genocider on CNN. Talking to Dana Bash about the desire he has when they're done with Iran and Lebanon and Palestinians to move on to Turkey.
President Trump is in Turkey right now. He said this morning he will consider selling F-35 fighter jets to Turkey, which is a reversal of a ban he put in place. You said yesterday that would, quote, upset the power balance in the Middle East. Have you made that clear to President Trump?
Yes, I have actually spoke to him several times about it. And I think that everybody understands that notwithstanding the personal friendship that President Trump has with Erdogan, it doesn't make Turkey a friendly or a friendly state to the United States. To the contrary, it's a regime that's infected with the Muslim Brotherhood, which hates the United States. He harbors Hamas, the Hamas terrorists. He supports them. He finances them. He's thrown his opponents in jail, all of them. He throws more journalists in jail than anyone can understand. So he's not exactly a model ally of the United States. But even worse than that, he threatens Greece, a NATO ally. He occupies half of Cyprus, another NATO country. And the most important thing, and I put it right on the table, he threatens to destroy my country, the one and only Jewish state. His number two says that we have no place among the nations, and you know what that means. And his number three, the interior minister, says that he's looking forward to be the governor of Jerusalem. Hello?
But
we're a
Prime
sovereign
Minister,
country.
Yeah, but Prime Minister, the president said this morning
and we tend to stay independent.
President said this.
Yeah, you're a sovereign country with no borders. What are Israel's borders? Do they have to define them, or are they the only country that doesn't have to stick to their defined borders?
Yeah. There's a yellow line that jailing changed by the day.
Yeah, and jailing journalists. Like, she just sits there listening to that. They have almost 10,000 Palestinian hostages. They slaughter more journalists than any other country in the world, and he can just sit there and say that. And like like everything he accuses Erdogan of is like he's doing, occupying other countries, jailing journalists, not wanting other countries to exist.
Absolutely. And he sets it all up with the classic propaganda of injecting Muslim Brotherhood, which is like, that's the core. And then he goes on to say some shit and you're like, oh, brown people? Yeah. Oh, brown. It's the others.
Yeah.
But they always start with that.
Yep. And he knows he'll certainly get her on his side if he says that, right? She's all in with that one. Two F's. Yep. The U.S. doesn't stop wars. It just starts them. Cheers and thank you. Barack Obama started 5 new wars when he was in office instead of ending the 2 he came in to end. That is how our country runs. But this also, I honestly, some of the things that he says out loud, I mean, I think these people are so conditioned to know that, like, there's no journalist who's ever going to push back on any of their lies. So here he's basically just talking about their, like, APAC Indian, staff who are disseminating propaganda hasbara on social media. It's crazy.
If I was in the cabinet of the Israeli government, I might not be attacking the only powerful ally that I have anywhere left in the entire world.
What was your reaction when you heard that?
First of all, I respect J.D. Vance. We have a very good relationship, but doesn't mean that I agree with everything that he says. And I have to point out this. Donald Trump is the greatest friend we ever had in the White House. And I stand by that completely. Secondly, we have some other friends, like a small country called India. You know, it has 1.4 billion people. And boy, do we have a tremendous support there. Mm-hmm. You know, I have this Facebook thing, and I'm just flooded by the overwhelming support there, and we have many others. Let me tell you where we have support, because it's fashionable now, and you know, in many countries, because their media and their social media are inundated with anti-Israel, anti-Semitic material. Many leaders, you know, call me up and say, hey, look, I've got this problem with public opinion, but I want you to know we respect you. And can we make some deals? And can you teach us some of the things that your military does? And can we have some of your AI and cyber expertise? You know, Israel is the #2 country in cyber in the world. And our technology is absurd. I mean, it's so good. The relations are not quite as they appear. And we have many, many friends. And I have to tell you,
I mean, he kind of just gave it all away.
Yeah. The real call is, hey, Bibi, everyone hates us. How can we shut down the dissent? What kind of tools do you have where we can start ratcheting in some censorship? What do you got?
And he's like, no, we're the experts. We got like what they're doing in India with the whole Facebook thing. Genius, the AI stuff, how we can take over, journalists, whole media establishments. I mean, I don't know, like, and there's no pushback. There's no question. Like, what are you talking about? Well, first of all, like, what are you talking about with India and the whole Facebook thing? She never pushes back. Yeah. She never asks a question.
Elaborate on that. Yeah. Like, that was the biggest opening. Like, come on.
Yeah. Okay. It's 7:15. Where
that means we need a wheel or something, and then we'll wrap.
Is that what you're saying? A little moment of joy. All right, let's see if we can find it. I need more wine for sure. Listen, you got to take care of your own self-medication, not waiting around for the wheel.
All right.
To recognize
just because it's happy and bouncy enough. We showed her before, but I love her. Hill of the Earth.
That is why the man said this revolution will be telepathic.
Hey, go parks, go parks, 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 parks. I love my local park, yeah, my park is lit. Got trails, native plants, plenty places to sit. Calisthenic gym, cause all the girlies get fit. Turtle Island raccoons, wildlife never quit. Met a bloke at the park, by the oak before dark. He approached with the rose, I know you're feeling that spark. We was under the tree, I was buzzing like bees. In the park we were free, caught a smile of breeze. Next to me on the bench, had me speaking in French. J'adore ce parc, I love the rain, I'm drenched. Look up, there's a bird bringing food to her nest. Test the time to rest, I'm feeling so blessed. In the park, walk around the grass, tiptoes, touch the earth. Free the people, free the land, for everything that it's worth. It's a place for us all, winter, spring, summer, fall. Dogs, ducks, squirrels, kids playing ball in the park. In the park, yeah, we in the park. I love my park, yeah. Go parks, in the park. Yo, meet me at the park. I love my park. I walk in the park, it's the park. Yeah, I love my parks.
Okay.
I love that. That's so cute though. But also like just the way I was talking about reading, like I know the whole touch grass. Like, if everybody went out and like actually
community, touch grass.
Yeah, community, nature, like these evil people would be so much better off if somebody loved them enough to say like, hey, look up at the sunset or the trees or the bird and like notice the things. Their parents must have hated them. Truly.
Yeah.
All right, were you going to show something fun?
I think they're going to revolt if we don't do a Lego. So
I know,
people have spoken. We're a democracy.
We are, but the only problem is the two of the ones. Okay, well, we have three right now. One is about the kids in Gaza, and it's just so sad that we can show it, but I know everybody was sort of in a happier place. Another one's about Charlie Kirk being killed. And another one is the fake, Trump yelling at Bibi, you're fucking crazy.
Okay, then maybe we should. Maybe it's not a Lego. Is it a Lego? I don't know.
The Lego thing, the Gaza kids, the only reason that maybe we want to do that is because I think this is in reference to the World Cup. I think it is a little bit of a tie-in. We'll watch it, but we'll still look for something a little happier after if this isn't happy, because I kind of think it won't be. Okay.
Yeah. Gaza. They said collateral. The report said children. Now Israel can't hide.
Gaza kids don't lie. Gaza kids don't lie. Israel aimed at the future, then asked the world why we cry. Sky.
No more silence, no more games.
Every child had a face and name. Gaza kids don't lie.
Gaza kids don't lie. They wrote the report, the mask came loose. Children in Gaza, blood on the proof. Israel said war, but the world saw crime. Little bodies buried under headline time. They bombed the homes, they starved the street, left tiny shoes in the concrete, then caught a defense, caught a mistake, but the same wound repeats when the target is made.
Mother still screaming, father still numb. Whole world watched what the war machine done. Not one child, not two, not 10. How many names before truth walks in? Gaza kids don't lie.
Gaza kids don't lie. Israel aimed at the future, then asked the world why we cry.
No more silence, no more games. Every child had a face and name. Gaza kids don't lie.
Gaza kids don't say their names.
Lift them high.
Truth don't burn and
Truth don't die.
say their names.
Lift them high.
Gaza's children testify. Sacred defense.
Gaza was seen.
The children were named.
The report is written.
Israel can't hide.
Justice will be served. Sacred defense.
That UN report came out 2 weeks ago. I don't think a single corporate outlet has covered it at all. Nothing.
Amazing.
Targeted children. It's so vile. And then there is something Susan Abalawe had on her Twitter page, a link that if you click on it, and it will like generate a letter for you, and it will go out to leaders of nations and the UN and the ICC for Dr. Hussam Abu Safia, who the last time he was seen a few days ago told his lawyer, you won't see me again. They brought me here to die. I mean, he's been so abused and tortured, and he has different ailments that aren't being treated, and so it generates like maybe 15 or 20 emails that go out to all these different people. And obviously I love the attention that's being paid to him. There are hundreds of thousands of people who also need to be relieved of this horrific existence that Israel and the US are putting them through. But that journalist who was released last week that we showed, who had such horrific brain contusions and swelling that they had to operate, remove part of his skull, part of his brain. It's a tracheotomy. Like, I just, the torture that is going on in front of the whole world is just, if you don't have solidarity for that, I mean, that's the thing, is all these Democrats or pretend Democrats or establishment people who talk about, like, why do you care so much about what's happening over there? One, because our government is doing it and it's horrific. But if you're too selfish to care about other people, again, they're practicing there. That's the lab. It's coming for you. And if you think that as a millionaire, even, you aren't closer to those of us who are closer to homelessness than you are to a billionaire, 100%. You're delusional.
100%. And even if you're just being selfish about how you are, what our politics, you can still use it as a litmus test for where these fuckers stand.
Yep.
And that's reason enough. I mean, if you're just concerned with you and your people in our neighborhoods and whatever, your politician supports Israel, why are they supporting Israel? That tells you what you need to know about them. Get them out. And to bring it back to economic stuff, I got a video we'll play.
Okay, good.
Some music. To pivot to economic stuff. And I chose this just because, earlier this week, I was at Home Depot checking out, and these two guys come running by us, smash my boss into the door, and it's because the guy was stealing, and they caught him stealing. And then right before the show, I was at Grocery Outlet buying some food, and same thing. A guy's leaving, stealing food from the store, and my cashier went out there trying to tackle him.
Oh my God.
So, economic disparity is real and happening faster. I've never in 1 week have I seen this twice.
Yeah.
Right. So it's a real thing. And so this song it's in the UK. So they're talking about Tesco, which is a grocery store, but it relates to us here.
Tesco's as the Morrison sings the matrix, not even just if you need to survive if you're starving. No one's sexual anxiety, perhaps really should steal as much as you can. Can't feed blueberries and close to a nap. Companies are harmed by stealing because you take a shot. It raises the premium to school. And that's what I wanted doing. I'm some unelected corporation that's awesome. You know, the 8 billion and everything by me. You know, 4 billion in breaks of violations. And you know, 20 billion in minimum wage violations. Then the fucking red homeless and put in my bag. Fucking whatever. She's on the ground. If you make it away, still for the drugs to compensate. He's on the ground. If you make it away, take away no shit every day.
I love that. I love that.
Take a 20-minute shit every day. There you go, people.
That's right. I shit on the boss's dime. Yeah, if you see someone shoplifting, no, you didn't. I was at the store the other day with my kids, and as we were checking out, the cashier said, "Oh, would you like to make a donation of $5 for starving children?" And I said, "No, I know what your CEO makes. I'll let him take care of that." Because are you fucking kidding me? Like, it was Pavilions. That's, Albertsons. It's Kroger's and Albertsons. Those are the two big stores. I mean,
100%. And someone was asking what the band was. It was Cheap Dirty Horse. Sorry,
they were great.
I was saving that
really
for tomorrow, but I got a million RMI videos and I didn't wrap it in the little intro we normally do.
That was good.
Cheap Dirty Horse.
All right. Cheap Dirty Horse. I love it. And yeah, we got it. And actually, when I said that, she was like, I'm sorry they make us say that. And I was like, oh my gosh, no, I know. It's not your fault. And you should be making more money also. But the audacity to ask us to pay for the reason those kids are going hungry, he's directly responsible for that. All of the billionaires are responsible for that, right? So use some of that great philanthropic reputation washing.
Exactly. The real prompt should be at Walmart. Would you like to donate $5 to our own health insurance? And
yeah.
Or would you rather the government keep paying for it? Up to you, but you could donate $5.
But we already do because it's our tax. All of these ghouls are double dipping, right? They get tax incentives and what's it called when you get they get tax incentives to build their business there. So that's taxpayer money, and then they underpay their workers, and so the workers are reliant on more taxpayer government welfare programs, social programs, right? So they're all double dipping, all of them.
Yep.
Which is why
game is rigged.
It is rigged.
Steal, take the $20 shit, and at least if you see it, you didn't. That's the important part.
That's right. And the other thing that I love, that I know I've told the story so many times, but in the holidays, there are always those Toys for Tots in the buckets. And this woman did a whole post on how she was at Walmart. And when she walked in, she saw please think about purchasing an extra item or two and then, putting it in the Toys for Tots or Meals for Tots bins. And she went through the whole store, filled her grocery cart up, bypassed the cashier, and put it all in the Toys for Tot buckets. And I thought,
beautiful.
Subsidies, thank you. Oh my God, it's too much wine. That's what happened. Thank you, Philip. Subsidies, yes. But that's what we should do, right? Because nobody's going to stop you, I would think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Force their hand. That's important. We have to force something to change here.
Yeah.
We're not going to vote our way into it. We're not going to, it won't be on the ballot to fix our economic situation.
No, it definitely won't. Okay. Reminder, tomorrow, new time slot, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern for our Thursday night. So happy it's Thursday.
Yes. Amen. 6 o'clock tomorrow.
Love you guys. Thank you.
See you then.
Keep punching up. We'll see you tomorrow.
The largest veteran action since the Vietnam War.
Not okay with another endless war in our name. We're not okay with defunding necessary vital care services like Medicaid.
What happened, Pat? And now you are
we have the I did not remove the audio for the Peter Thiel song from our last week's OGT. So why don't we show a Lego video while I do that? Or something.
All right, I'll show something. Do that quickly, and I'm going to show a couple of more videos of people celebrating the Belgian win, and also how Trump turned everything to shit.
Everything Trump touches dies. I'm proud of our team. I'm proud of our fans. I'm proud of our country. Fuck you, Donald Trump. Everything Trump touches dies. Everything Trump touches dies.
We just eliminated the host country and they can call their president.
He didn't deserve, he should have withdrawn himself and said, I'm not gonna play, but he didn't. So karma's a
It shows even more that we deserve to win, regardless of what Trump wanted.
It was 100% a red card. He touched his leg. I don't care if it was on purpose, if it wasn't. Doesn't matter. The ref called it. You cannot take it back. You cannot take it back. But it doesn't matter because we're gonna win.
Listen, hey, this is the absolute achievement of our team.
I don't know what to believe in anymore.
What are you confused about?
My feelings, they're scattered. They're like the Hudson River. They got two different currents going two different ways.
I got a baby Belgium on the way.
We love America as well. We like to be here in New York. And we are looking forward to play against Spain.
How are we doing, Pat? Still nothing?
I thought we were good, but I fucked it up. So we're still not good, but we will be soon. Just no, it's going to take too long.
Force people to sit here. It's like an encore, as Gwen says.
It's good.
I from now on, I will. You got it?
No.
Oh my God.
It's not. It's unless you want to play a whole nother video, but I can do it if you just play one more video.
Really? Okay. Sorry. Why don't people? I think people are like getting ready to go, but let's quickly just do another LOL. We will do a Sammy Obeid. So we'll do something fun before we come back to leave. Get it together, Pat. Lock in. All right. 1 second.
I love watching. Oh,
really?
1 minute.
Oh, we've got it. Well,
we just have to upload it, but you know how long it takes. I mean,
yeah, it can take a while. All right, we're gonna do cat smells cat on owners.
Maybe get over here.
Mom! Oh God.
Ew.
Oh my goodness, the jealousy. That is very, very cute. All right. Are we good?
So just to add to that, yeah, we're good to go. But
Okay.
my Pablo, when I got the kitten strike, literally it took like 6 months before he would stay more than 30 seconds in my apartment because he would walk in, smell it, and then attack me for the longest time first.
And I'm sure
And he
that's
started
what
getting less violent, and it's a process.
started the whole peeing and pooing on you thing, huh?
Yes.
It's
We are
punishment.
finally here with the one good thing.
All right, we'll sign off again. 6 o'clock tomorrow, Pacific time. We love you guys. Keep punching up. Thanks for bearing with us. Cheers.
This is the largest veteran action since the Vietnam War.
Not okay with another endless war in our name. We're not okay with defunding necessary vital care services like Medicaid, SNAP, and the VA. We say no more.
So as veterans, we know firsthand how fraudulent the wars we fight are, and that includes the forever war against the enemy within, the racialized enemy within, inside the United States that we're seeing being executed through ICE raids and stuff.
You know, we were giving our lives for this country. We were given promises, we made promises. We took an oath, but to defend this country against all enemies, foreign and domestic. And we have a lot of domestic enemies right now that nobody wants to talk about. So that's why we're here today, because hopefully if you hear it from a veteran, you know, everyone always thanks us for our service. You should thank us by listening to the warning that we're trying to give you. I don't want to go back. I'm doing this for my kids. I'm doing this for those 7 generations coming after me.
We need to divest from defense and invest in our actual communities, in the things that the people actually need. I always say that Palestine freed me, and so I really feel a duty to fight for everyone else who doesn't have a voice, who is oppressed. And there's a long history of resistance in this country. especially in this city of Philadelphia. And we're a part of that long legacy, and we're carrying on the torch.